Good afternoon and welcome to a review of episode 5 of Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. Now, after last week's episode, where it was like, RMC getting it, it makes me want to drink some water because this guy did it. 4 episodes and he already smashed Roxanne. He's already smashing it. And like always, and ever since that episode aired, it has been known throughout the community on Twitter, Facebook. Hell, it's been in memes, GIFs, and hell, if you go on Route 34, you'll see it. Now, last week's episode gave us something we want. Fan service at its finest hour. It gave us that the entire episode. Screenshot after screenshot. Fan service after fan service. Smashing after smashing. Roxanne after Roxanne. Gorgeous body. And ever since then, we've been getting it. Now, this episode, I get it. It's not like last week where we got that. But this episode did give us something to learn about. For fans, for a show like this, despite being as ecchi, it did give us something to learn about. And that's the thing. That's the thing about when it comes to ecchi animes. Sure, ecchi does have that for academic purposes only, but it does tell a story and it has some instructions, manuals, a little bit of this and that to explain what's the actual story of that episode. And we keep saying, people say, oh, it's fan service, it takes away the anime, it's ecchi, forget that, I ain't watching that. If you don't guys got the balls to watch anything that has a high level, D tier to S tier fans that has fan service in those areas, don't even watch it. Now, I will say this, like I said before last week, we need to have a crossover. Put interspecies reviewers and put Harem Labyrinth in Another World crossover. Or better yet, put this show as a nighttime and then put it after midnight. Because every time I look at Harem and Labyrinth in Another World, I always look at this show and say, you know what? Give this show a time slot, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then put interspecies reviewers at 11:30 or midnight. That's just me. But anyway, after last week's episode, did it get better after this episode? Well, let's see. So here's my review of episode 5 of Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World. Now, here's what we got it. So after them smashing all that stuff last week, this week they're getting prepared. Now, they're getting prepared to go to Labyrinth. But before that, this episode didn't really get a lot of what we wanted, but it gave us most screenshots of Roxanne. Now, Roxanne explains to our beloved MC that, I'm going to call him Master Kun, because everybody keep calling him, Monster Misune, you got him Darling Kun. They call him Master. So, okay, let's call him Master Kun. Let's call him that. So after Master Kun smashing Roxanne, Master just say, hey, you know what? What can I upgrade weapons? What can I do to gain experience? And Roxanne has the knowledge to help him. Understanding the pros and cons of leveling up, using skills-wise, using what type of swords, and everything to learn to get better and better. And that's what this is. That's what this is. It's like when you play an RPG game, you gotta learn the basics. And like this, Roxanne is giving him the basics of what you really need. Like a monk, a priest, a monk, a blacksmith, somebody, anything like that. The most common characters in an RPG world. Like you got a spellcaster, you got a warrior, it's like the basics of an RPG type characters, what you need in a party. And then like I said, we got most screenshots. Like the part when he gave him the leather armor, it actually shoots up the sides type to see titties, man. I see Roxanne's boobies all over again. And I like this. You gotta love the screenshots of her boob shots. It had a lot. Okay, now on to the Labyrinth. Here's the thing. We gotta love Roxanne for what she is as a wolfkin. She has a scent unlike any other scent. I'm not saying Kiba, hell no. But with she knows the labyrinth. Like, she could smell where monsters nearby. I mean, if she could smell where the monsters are, then, she could smell what he's holding. But that's a different topic in another way. That's another topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. See, Roxanne is so knowledgeable that she tells him that the labyrinth moves. It moves. It changes every time. So basically, all this time, he was facing all these tree monsters and just for this low level. He needs to go higher. It's like you've been facing level 1 creatures all this time. But if you want to get more, if you want to get more experience, if you want to get more money, if you want to build up the strongest harem group you got, the strongest harem group since Kiryu from Redo of Healer, by the way, then you gotta build up. You gotta go to every level. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? And you gotta go from each dungeon level. So the labyrinth moves, it changes, so you gotta keep fighting all different monsters to be stronger. And then, after all that, he got crystals too. Even crystals. He got crystals and stones and and the thing about this episode is that even though we got the fan service of this episode, it actually gave us something to learn about in this episode. We learned about the crystals, stones, type of characters that you need in your party to make you better, and different requirements. And even when he was facing off with the sword, he used different types of swords, and he tried to learn the pros and cons of which sword. Let's say you got 2 swords. You got one on offense, but you got a sword here that lacks strength. So it's which sword would you try? And he's learning. Now, Roxanne, without a sword and shield, she's a boxer. The way she was dodging like this and then punching the tree, it was like the way how she was hopping up and down like this. It legit reminds me of, she looks like a Street Fighter character. She looked like a character from Street Fighter when they do like this. Labyrinth, round 1. Fight. It's like that. I'm sorry. I'm about to lie here. But still, she put a lot of work in that tree monster. All that work. Damn, she's good. It's but the thing is now she don't want to be a monk, 'cause that's not her status. She's a beast warrior type. Meaning, we get, beast warriors, right? I don't have to explain Yu-Gi-Oh! Type vibe or anything like that, but you get what I mean. I mean, they did screenshot a lot of things, like moments when she moved around, her boobs move. I'm sorry, stutter. The moment he walk in front, he's just staring at her ass, but actually looking at the tail because she's all happy. Now, Roxanne does have this thing. Let's not pay attention to the fan service for a bit. Let's look at this. With Roxanne, she's all I've always been useless. Anytime that she was used in situations like this, she will always step to the side. For people using her, it was more okay, the monster's this way. Okay, you stand the fuck back. Let me take this and you just watch. But in his case, he's no, I want you. You're my partner. You're not a slave. You're my partner. I want you to help me get better. That's what I like about him. He don't see Roxanne as a slave, do this and that. No. He actually sees he actually sees her as just a regular person, a partner. Let me go with that, a partner. And then that moment when he asks Roxanne, I'm gonna have people in my party. You okay with that? She said, yeah, I'm okay with it. Here's the thing. I don't think, I may, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this the first time that in a harem, there's always the first girl, and the first girl gets mad over the other girl? How in every harem, there's always, the MC always gets the first girl that he sees. And then when the next girl comes, and then the next girl comes, and then the next girl comes in, they all get jealous, especially the first one. So especially the first girl. So I'm thinking to myself, so it's like, she's okay with getting another one. So if he ends up with the dwarf, the girl with the big boobs, and the mage or anybody like that, it's like he's okay to have a threesome, maybe a foursome, maybe even more. He could go in the distance. He could buy another slave and get a threesome if he wanted to. That's how, and Roxanne would be okay with it. That's, you know what I mean? That's something. That's rare. Again, that's rare to find one girl in the harem and say, okay, you could date this one. I'm okay with it. You know, I think it's rare. It's rare. Okay, now back to what I was saying. So, after them giving us to learn about how crystals change colors depending on stones, and the use of crystals, and the use of skills and whatnot, what better way to end every little thing with a fence, with something to remember by. And that's Roxanne's boobs. The fluffy ears is so cute. Give it to the fluffy ears. Her ears are cute. But then Roxanne's known for her boobs. So what a better way to do it than just washing her and just, scrubbing everything, even the boob. But when really went down here, if you know what I mean. It went down. I really wish, here's the thing. I know people are going to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Why didn't we see more of it? Why can't we see more of it? They're already smashing again. Why are they not showing that? And why they're not showing, him? Why they're not showing Roxanne, washing him down there or doing more down there, if you know what I mean. But I get why people are going to be like, oh, I want to see more. If you want to see more, go read the light novel. But like I said, a lot of people want to say it was more. Now, but after everything we learned from this, how to use the skills and all that, equipments and such, and what characters you need to make your party even stronger, these two are going to go out in a blaze of glory to their first battle boss. Throughout the time, they've been training and killing trees and whatnot to get, level up more. And right now is their moment. This is their time. They're going to face off against the first floor boss. And I can't wait to see this dynamic duo that these two, that these two are going to do in next week's episode. And I hope they add another person to their party. We saw the opening, we saw the casters. Let's see who's the second person in the group is going to be. We'll see. So, I look forward for next week's episode of Harem and Labyrinth in Another World. And like I said, this was a good episode. Even though we got somewhat, not high def fan service, but some mids because it's showing a lot of appeal on Roxanne. Give her that. And especially the ending. But it did give us something to learn about when entering the labyrinth and such. So, I look forward for next week's episode of it, and I'm sure you will.